Hi, I'm Klaus Lauter from Integrate Immigration, and as always, thanks for joining me on our monthly podcast. As promised, this month I'm going to tell you about spouses and life partners of South Africans that want to live and work in South Africa. For the purposes of this discussion, we are assuming that the application is for a temporary spousal or life partner permit. If, however, you have been in a relationship or married for 5 years plus, please contact one of our client managers for further advice. Just type Integrate Immigration into Google and you will find us easily. Let's begin with what constitutes a spouse or life partner. The easier of the two to define is of course that of a spouse. In the most basic definition, it is an individual who is in this case married to a South African citizen or permanent resident. It should be noted that unlike in some other countries, there is no specific duration of the marriage before a spousal application can be made. A life partner can be described as an individual who is in a permanent relationship with a South African citizen or permanent resident. Again, there is no prescribed duration for the relationship, but there is an onus that the applicant to prove the relationship is indeed valid and of a permanent nature. It should be noted that same-sex relationships and heterosexual relationships are handled in exactly the same manner and governed by the same rules. So to the application itself. According to whether it is a spousal or life partner relationship, the appropriate permit always needs to be applied for. This permit only allows for the foreign partner or spouse to enter and reside in South Africa. It does not permit them to work, study or set up a business. It can be looked up almost as a tourist visa, but for an extended period of time. Now for many of the foreign partners you may wish to take up some form of occupation, business or maybe study. I repeat here again that even those individuals that have already made successful applications and in receipt of a spousal or life partner permit, you are not able to undertake any of these activities, whether this is a paid or an unpaid basis. So just how do you get to work, study or set up a business? Let's start with work and see how you can legally work in South Africa as the spouse or life partner of a South African citizen or permanent resident. In reality, most individuals first apply for the appropriate permit, then travel to South Africa to obtain a job. This means in many cases you may already be in South Africa and in possession of an appropriate spousal or life partner permit. If not, now it is the time to apply. The next step is to obtain a valid job offer from an employer. Please note, if you have not made your permit application and have in your possession a valid job offer, the following step can be done concurrently with this application. The job offer is taken along with the required information and supporting documentation to apply for an endorsement to work. This endorsement is made to the spousal or life partner permit. The endorsement is specific to that employer and for a period of time that either the employment contract is for or the spousal or life partner validity period, whichever is the longer. Therefore, if you change jobs, a new endorsement is required. Worth knowing when applying for a job and worth pointing out to potential employers that this endorsement is not the same as a work permit. Mainly, the employer does not have to prove that no South African carry out the role nor need sign any undertakings. In short, they can treat your application exactly the same as one from a South African or permanent resident. For those setting up a business, if this is known prior applying for a spousal or life partner permit, both the permit and endorsement can and should be made applied for concurrently. If not, and you are already in possession of a spousal or life partner permit, a separate endorsement application must be made. The key here is proof that you are indeed setting up or even buying into a business. This usually takes the form of incorporation papers, now normally of a PTI Limited. The permit is issued for the period of the permit, and should your situation change, for example setting up a new business, another endorsement is required. For those wishing to study, the same application process would apply and be depending upon whether you hold a spousal or life partner permit already. If so, it is an endorsement application. If not, then the permit and endorsement can be applied for together. The endorsement is issued for the period of the permit or course, the shorter of the two. Should your situation change, a new endorsement must be applied for. Here, proof of your acceptance by the Learning Institute is required when applying for the endorsement, whether independently or as part of a life partner or spousal application. So in summary, for those wishing to work, set up a business or study, not only must you apply for a spousal or life partner permit, but also an endorsement. This is often a two-step process. Changes in your circumstances mean more often than not a new endorsement application must be made. If you want to find out more information, have a look at our website on integrate-immigration.com or just type Integrate Immigration into Google. While you're there, why not try our instant call back feature we have introduced? It puts you in touch with one of our client managers instantly and at no cost or obligation. We even pay for the phone call. As always, a big thank you for the regular followers of our podcast, we thank you for joining us again this month. For those newcomers, welcome and hope to see you become a regular. We look forward to seeing you online and at our next podcast when we are going to talk about relatives permits, the do's and don'ts, and the qualifying criteria.